right, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, good afternoon. Where's the energy? All right, okay. Hello, my name is Rany Ng, and I'm the Director of Product for our G Suite Meeting Solutions, and I'm very excited to be here to talk to you about Google's vision for how we want to transform meetings and help your teams collaborate smarter. And then later in the session, we're going to be joined on stage by two of our G Suite Meet customers, Salesforce as well as Resolve, to talk through how they adopted video meetings into their organization. So, I always like to think about our own personal experiences, and there's something really magical about being able to talk to someone face to face in real time through video. And when I think about my nieces, ever since they were born 5 and 8 years ago, video chat was the default way that they communicated with their grandparents. When they tried to talk to their grandparents through a phone, what they would do is they would, kind of run over, they would look at the phone, they would say, "Hi, Ama Agong" in Chinese, and then they would run away and go play, right? Because they didn't understand that phone. And when they started to use video chat, as you can see in the photo, as a way to talk to their grandparents, they got it immediately. They automatically could see their grandparents on the screen, they can engage with them, they can make jokes, and they were so much more animated. Right? There's this thing about video that is so much more expressive, interactive, and really allows you to build a connection with people. And we've seen that by enabling and communicating through video, it really enhances communication. And we really want to bring this video-first culture to the workplace. So I've been with Google for about 10 years now, and I can't even remember what it's like to have a meeting without video conferencing. I don't actually even remember when they took the phone off my desk, and I also sort of, kind of grumble a little bit when someone wants to call my cell phone for a meeting. Now, over the years, my teams have spanned over across New York, San Francisco, London, Zurich, Stockholm, et cetera. And video meetings really have enabled us to not only work better together as a team, but it's actually been really critical for building team culture, which ultimately leads to highly effective teams. As you can see from the photo, and no, we do not wear black and white striped shirts to work every day and drink wine during the meeting. I'll keep you in suspense of what the backstory is there. But, we celebrate launches and promotions and marriages and birthdays together as a team across all of these different offices as if we were in the same room. And these video meetings, really have been core for how we have been able to build a strong team culture, build connections amongst each other, and ultimately, for me, it's been, really one of the key ways that we've been able to transform how we work at Google. So how did we actually get here? So Google's entry into providing enterprise meeting solutions is a personal one. It's one that we've been investing deeply in over the course of a decade. At Google, we grew very quickly. In the early 2000s, we had 3,000 people in our offices. If you fast forward now to 2018, there are over 85,000 people in 70 offices across 50 countries, right? That's a lot. And what we realized is that if we wanted to continue to be successful and to be able to innovate at a global scale, we really needed to do something different. We needed to change the way that our teams collaborated with each other, and we needed to change the way that we communicated. So in 2003, we decided to make a big bet and go all in with video conferencing. So one of the things that we realized is that, we couldn't really just leverage traditional conference phone bridges in order to allow our teams to communicate across all of these different time zones. Right? A phone call doesn't really necessarily inspire creativity or engagement, as my nieces discovered at a very early age. And so we decided to outsource proprietary video conferencing technology and outfit all of our large rooms with video conferencing equipment. And while this was revolutionary, it was pretty expensive to do. Each unit cost about $50,000, and that didn't even include support, maintenance, license fees, et cetera. In addition, these devices were on-premise with complex infrastructure, and it actually took a lot of support staff in order to support it. But by 2007, we were able to outsource about 2,400 conference rooms with these different devices. But then we broke it. Right, video conferencing became so popular at Google that everyone wanted to join these meetings. And we actually ended up hitting the max capacity of this infrastructure. Plus, we realized that a lot of people aren't working within the rooms, they're working from home or on the go, and we really needed a much more flexible solution in order to scale video meetings. And so it was that point that we decided to take matters into our own hands, and we wanted to build a video conferencing solution from the ground up that was built in the cloud and can help us scale as we grew our organization. So in 2008, we launched Gmail Video Chats, where you can video chat with your contacts in Gmail. And while this is a really great start, you can't really scale video conferencing within Gmail itself. And so we decided to continue investing by building our own infrastructure with WebRTC. We started to build out more access points like mobile access and things like that. And we recently also added hardware into the meeting rooms with Hangouts Meet. So it's been over a decade since we built this first prototype, and video meetings are now part of our entire company's DNA. Right, every single day, Googlers connect to video calls 270,000 times. And that's across rooms, across their laptops, and across mobile phones. And we currently have over 20,000 video-enabled meeting rooms within our organization, which is pretty amazing. Now, we believe that all organizations, whether you're small or large, can have the same video meeting culture. People are really at the heart of healthy and successful organizations, and while you want everyone to be able to collaborate together in person, it's not always feasible or cost-effective given remote offices and things like that. And so that's why last year we announced our enterprise suite of meeting solutions for G Suite customers. This is the same video conferencing technology that we use at Google, and our Meet hardware kits are now the standard across all of our rooms within Google. Our goal really with Meet is to help you transform work the way we have been able to do it within our organization. And we really want to be able to provide you with a simple, smart, scalable solution that allows your teams to be able to knowledge share, to be able to collaborate in any moment, at any point in time, and on any technology platform of their choice. But we don't really want to stop there, right? We really want to work with our partners and really think about how we can reimagine how teams should be working. How should teams be creating together, engaging with each other, presenting, innovating, and not just within a confined workspace, but across all connected workspaces, whether you're in your home office or whether you just want to have a spontaneous virtual hallway conversation, or if you just want to, brainstorm at any point in time. We really believe that every single touch point between team members can be, equally, if not better, than talking to someone in person. And there's so many new technologies out there now that enable us to actually make collaboration a lot more intelligent and productive. So what we want to talk about today is three main areas that we're focused on as we think about the future of meetings and the future of the G Suite meeting solutions. The first is that we want to make sure that there's simple access, right? We want everyone to be able to easily hop into video-first meetings. The second thing is we want to make sure that collaboration is smart, right? We want to continue to elevate productivity, make it much more integrative and assistive. And then the third thing is that we want to make sure that administering, this entire solution is something that's scalable. We want to make sure that we're helping administrators maximize ROI across rooms, across their fleet, and also within individual meetings. So simple access. So we've all been in those meetings where someone can't join or the audio quality is bad, and it sort of just disrupts the entire flow of the meeting. The organizer is upset, the attendees get a little antsy, and it just kind of makes the meeting less productive. Right? Our goal with Meet is to make sure that we remove a lot of these headaches so that you can actually focus on the substance of the meeting versus all of the logistics. Right? We want to make it very easy for you to host and join from anywhere at any time. And coming soon, we are going to be doubling the enterprise support for the number of active Meet participants in a meeting up to 100 so that you can collaborate with a much broader team. Now, the other thing we know is that, we tend to be video first, but we understand that you need to give employees flexibility and choice in terms of how they're accessing these video meetings. So every single Meet meeting now comes with a one-click dial-in, and we support 21 countries, and we're continuing to grow that. We also smartly are able to put the right local phone number based on the location of the employee. And then finally, we want to make joining easy from rooms. As I mentioned, we launched our Meet hardware last year, and we're continuing to grow our hardware so that you can actually scale this capability, not just in small rooms, but it can actually grow into large rooms, boardrooms, and even different classrooms. So one of the exciting things that we've been seeing over the course of the last year is that a lot of our customers are increasingly leveraging the power of Meet meetings with our award-winning digital whiteboard Jamboard. And the reason they're doing this is to really allow remote teams to be able to create, to brainstorm, to save unstructured thoughts together so you can come back to it. And having this arena to be able to ideate is really what ultimately sparks innovation. So we're excited to talk about how we want to continue to extend virtual whiteboarding even more. So coming soon, we will be supporting Meet full-screen video conferencing within the Jamboard device so that you can take advantage of whiteboarding and a full-screen video solution all in the same place, which is ideal for things like small rooms where you may not have as much wall real estate. And we also recognize that not everyone in your meeting may have access to a Jamboard device. And so we want to make sure that everyone can participate. Now, we already support full editing within iPads, tablets, and Chromebooks. But we're excited to announce that we have recently just launched full editing and full drawing within the Jamboard mobile app that you can download in the Apple or Play Store right now and test it out. And so this really enables a way for anyone, whether they're on the go or not, to be able to participate in Jamboard collaboration. And we'll give a demo a little bit later on how this works. So now, while we have our own hardware within the meeting rooms, at Google, we do believe in openness and compatible ecosystems. We want to make sure that it is easy for anyone to connect to Meet, and we recognize that many of our customers have made existing investments in video conferencing systems. So that's why last month we announced a partnership with Pexip, which basically makes Meet compatible with traditional video conferencing equipment such as Cisco and Polycom, as well as Skype for Business. So with interoperability, you can now be able to run your Meet meetings on the existing investments that you already have in your conference rooms and be able to continue to leverage a lot of the meeting innovations that we are continuing to launch as part of G Suite. Now, in addition to our Pexip partnership, we also have added a peripheral qualification program. So if there are third-party devices, cameras, speaker mics, et cetera, that you want to use, we will actually make sure that they go through our qualification program so that you can get the same quality experience that you would expect from a Meet meeting. And then finally, we want to make sure that you are able to leverage these video meetings to expand to a broader audience and really allow your entire distributed workforce to be able to participate in Meet meetings, whether that's an all-hands or a town hall or even something like the keynote this morning for Cloud Next. And so I'm excited to announce that in the coming weeks, we are going to be supporting live streaming directly in Meet. Right, live streaming in Meet is meant to be easy to use and easy to set up. So you don't have to reach out to your IT department to get it enabled. Right, directly within Calendar now, you can enable any meeting to be a live streaming meeting and invite your audiences. Now, the live streaming technology is unique because it is backed by YouTube's worldwide infrastructure. And what this enables us to do is to actually deliver very high quality media to over 100,000 concurrent viewers at once, while making sure that your content is secure and accessible only to those within your organizations. So now everyone in your company can actually tune in at the exact same time to be able to hear leaders share their strategy, to be able to hear updates, celebrate moments, and more. So we're really excited about launching this. Now, kind of getting into the meeting is really just the first step. Right? What we really want to do is to make sure that we are elevating productivity and making sure that your teams can collaborate a lot smarter. So as most of you know, our deep integration with G Suite and Google Machine Learning enables users to have a very integrated collaborative experience and enable meetings to be much more productive. And what I want to do is to share some examples of how we are increasingly incorporating intelligence into meetings to assist you as you prepare, as you engage, and as you create with your different team members. So first, we want to make sure that all the logistics of scheduling a meeting and quickly getting into a meeting is as effective as possible. For your scheduled meetings, I know that sometimes booking conference rooms can be a bit of a headache, right? You don't really know where all the participants are located. You don't really know all the information about the conference rooms, and if you get it wrong, then the whole meeting flow is disrupted because people are running to meetings and things like that. Well, we want to make this easy within Calendar. We have recently launched automatic room suggestions that will intelligently select the best conference rooms for you based on the location of the people in your meetings, based on your preferred meeting rooms from previous meetings, the number of people that are required and the minimum room size, as well as the required equipment. So if it needs to be VC enabled or if you need a Jamboard. And we really want to do this so that your meetings can really start seamlessly in the best conference room possible for your attendees. Now, the other area that we're introducing smart scheduling is within chat. So we know that increasingly teams are leveraging Hangouts chat as a prime way to communicate so that you don't always have to be in a meeting. But sometimes the group threads that you have on Hangouts chat can be a little bit unwieldy, gets a little too complicated, and everyone on the thread knows that you just have to meet, but no one wants to actually be the one to set up the meeting. So we've recently introduced the Meet Scheduling Assistant within Hangouts chat. So what you can now do is you can go into your chat window, call the @Meet bot, and actually tell it to schedule a follow-up meeting. And the @Meet bot will automatically find availability for all of the participants that are in your chat, find the available rooms, and get it set up right away for you without anyone needing to do anything, which is pretty great. So, yes? So the next thing we want to do is to make sure that we are assisting you to make your meetings more effective. And we've seen from research that when you have an agenda, it's really highly beneficial for creating high-quality meetings. So we are launching Quick Meeting Notes, which allows you to automatically create a meeting template directly within Calendar. And what this does is that it will help you and your meetings become more productive and accountable by always having a central place for you to track not just your agendas, but meeting notes as well as action items. The other area that we're investing in is really thinking about the personal assistant. We know that in our day-to-day lives, users are increasingly leveraging personal assistants to help them with their day-to-day. So we're excited to announce that we will be bringing voice commands into the conference rooms with Hangouts Meet hardware. And with this capability, we really want to think about how we can tailor it to the workplace and enable you to automate meeting processes like starting a meeting and things like that. This is still early days, and we really want to be thoughtful about how we include this into the meeting room. So we will be rolling this out to select Meet hardware customers later on this year. So definitely stay tuned for more. So now that you've told Google to start your meeting, we want to make sure that you are, part of the action and feel really engaged and immersed in the meeting. And so coming soon, we are going to be launching adaptive layouts within Meet. And what adaptive layouts will do is to automatically and intelligently understand the context of the meeting so that you have the best and most immersive experience when you're part of the entire meeting context. For example, if you are in a meeting with multiple people active in discussion, we can create a Brady Bunch view so that you can see the 3 or 4 people really clearly on the screen. If someone is presenting, we can make sure that you're automatically seeing the person who's presenting and all those people that are active in the conversation, those are that are asking questions or making comments and things like that. Or if it's just you in a room with your colleagues, then we will make sure that we show by default your presentation or your shared screen in full screen so that you can always see all the information in detail without any sidebars. And then finally, we want to make sure that we're always helping you to create with each other. We know that not everyone is an artist or not everyone has the greatest handwriting, but sometimes when you're in a meeting, just jotting down your thoughts or drawing out what you're trying to communicate is actually the easiest way to get your thoughts out. So what we've done is we've leveraged machine learning within Jamboard to actually automatically detect what you're trying to write or what you're trying to say, and we will automatically give you a more attractive version of that. And so with that, I want to introduce Noah Green, our master jammer, to the stage to show you this in action. Noah?
Thank you, Rany. Hey everybody, my name is Noah, and I'm here to showcase some of the fun functions and features available to Jamboard today. So if you don't know, this is in fact the Google Jamboard. It's resting on its optional accessory, which is the stand. We have here the passive stylus, marker, and eraser. Now, passive stylus is a huge thing here with Jamboard because it really allows the familiarity of interaction between the end user and the product to be extraordinarily familiar as compared to using an actual whiteboard. The benefit of these being passive is one that you can pick these up and start using them, but you can also erase with your finger on the board just like a regular whiteboard. You never have to worry about the stylus and eraser not being charged because they are in fact passive. When I place this right here on the tray, there's only a magnet linking them together, so you never have to worry about them charging, pairing, or syncing. Now, if I write something on the Google Jamboard here, just while using my own handwriting, let's just use Google as the example here. And I want to erase, just as I mentioned like this, I can erase it on the board with my finger. Benefit of this is that you don't go home with any chalk on your finger and spread it onto your face. If that was the case, it would be truly remarkable. Maybe that's on the roadmap. Let's go back to this. So this is a general frame here to sort of plan out a meal. Show of hands, does anybody have a meal planned for later on this evening? Show of hands. Most of you do. If you don't, I'm pretty worried. You should go eat. So what we're doing here is a preloaded jam here, and I've got one of my coworkers remotely connected to the Jamboard, and he's going to publish a couple more sticky notes to allow me to know sort of what type of meal I need to be planning actively here on the Jamboard. Once those pop up, we'll kind of explore what we need to do. But first off, before we do that, I'm going to blow this guy up here. This is a schedule, and it was created in Google Documents. I am able, through Google Drive and the remote application of Jamboard, available for download on iOS or Android, is to import a Google Doc, sheet, or slide, or anything that effectively lives inside your Drive. I'm able to import directly into the session. Perfect. Pritam has told me that Sarah has a seafood allergy, so going to a seafood restaurant may or may not be the best idea. Depends on how much you like Sarah. So schedule here. I can see that I've got a team dinner at 7 o'clock. So I can annotate on top of a Google document actively right here on the Jamboard using the passive stylus. And if I want to move these two things together, simply use the lasso tool and bring it right up there. So now I know that I'm talking about a team dinner at 7 o'clock. So let's jump in over here and we'll we'll go into the internet here, and I'm going to pull content directly from the web into the session and annotate on top of it so my coworkers can know specifically where it is that we're trying to go have a meal. So I'm going to press crop right here. You can make it as pretty as you want to by dragging these corner edges down along the side. We'll keep the phone number in there. I'll press enter, and now I have the map here inside my jam session. Also, Jono loves kale. That's a very good thing to note. I'll put this guy right over there. And if I would like to as well, I can double-click any one of these sticky notes, change the color, and or change the note itself. If I want to get rid of it, like this one, I'm going to throw it down using two-finger touch to the trash can, which is at the bottom of the display. But let's get into some of those good ooh-ah functions, those machine learning tools. I like to refer to them as the ooh-ah tools. So when I do something here, I encourage you all to go ooh-ah. This here is handwriting recognition. This is shape recognition, and this is auto draw. So I will show you my terrible handwriting, and we'll see what we can get done. So let's write team dinner here up on the board. And watch the magic of machine learning convert this ooh. Now you're getting the hang of it. Fantastic. So two-finger touch this object just like the map here, and I can move it around the display. I can copy it if I would like to, but I have some fun editing capabilities as well. I do not have to get rid of this if I have misspelled or anything, or if I want an uppercase or lowercase letter. I can, in fact, come right over here and strike that T. Ooh. Or do a lowercase t and a small caret, and it's going to throw that t right back up here so I don't ha 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 ha. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. I'm loving it. Okay, great. So this is our team dinner. I know that they've got some live jazz Friday night, which I am super into, so I'm going to make sure that I annotate on top of that. This is, in fact, our team dinner. And we'll get into one more here before I jump off the stage. This function is brand new. The Jamboard gets over-the-air updates every 6 to 8 weeks, just like Chrome does. So you can expect brand new functions to circulate to the board when they're published and pushed. This one is called auto draw. So if I'm a terrible artist, or like I have terrible handwriting, I can draw something on the board and have it recognize what I've drawn and digitally convert it right in front of me. So for this instance, I want to make sure that everybody knows that I am in fact in San Francisco. One of the best things about San Fran is the Golden Gate Bridge. This may or may not look like a bridge. Here it is. Bridge right there, and it has converted. Ooh. Very good. Excellent. Now, if I wanted to save my content or jump back into a jam session, I'm more than welcome to do so. Click this guy right there, and I can add remote participants directly here on the jam session. They can be in domain or out of domain, no problemo. I can send a copy as a PDF or a PNG, and I have a slew of other options as well. The connecting to a meeting is extraordinarily powerful because not only can you ideate inside of a Jamboard session, just like you would on a regular whiteboard, but you're able to do so within the context of video conference. So I can hear, communicate, and see with you while also sharing my exploration and ideation inside of a digital whiteboarding session. It's truly powerful and really quite awesome. That's my time. Rany?
All right, thank you, Noah. So if you liked what you saw with Noah, I actually want to share a pretty exciting offer that we have today. I used to work in ads, so of course I'm going to put an ad into the presentation. But for one time only during this week, all Next participants will get a $1,600 discount off of Jamboards. You can get a flyer at the end of the session, or you can go visit the BenQ station right on this floor to find out information and try it out for yourself. But it's pretty cool, and we use it pretty regularly within Google. All right. We've shared a lot of pretty exciting things that we've introduced to meetings and our meeting solution. And I'm sure the natural question for some of you in the room is, how do we actually manage this thing? We believe that all organizations can have secure video conferencing at scale with low maintenance costs. As we were building out our solution, we really wanted to keep the IT administrator, facilities managers, and AV teams in mind to make sure that we were helping you maximize your ROI. And as many of you know, Google was born in the cloud, right? So we understand a lot of the security implications of powering a business in the cloud. And because G Suite is built within Google in the same infrastructure, if you adopt our meeting solutions, you automatically get the same protections that you would across the board. Now, with Meet, we enable IT administrators to be able to manage all of their resources in one place. And we did leverage, some of the learnings from our Google IT department to make sure that we are helping you scale your investment. And we are also really excited about bringing much more intelligent and machine learning capabilities into our administrative tools, because we want to make sure that you can always optimize your meeting room space. We want to make sure that you can scale your fleet of hardware devices and have it take care of itself. And we also want to make sure that we are providing you with actionable insights so that you can determine how to create the best experience for your users for all of their meetings. So we know that real estate and rooms are very, very expensive and scarce resources. And as facilities managers, you always want to make sure that your conference rooms are being utilized most effectively. Now, did you know that on average, 30 to 40% of booked meeting rooms are actually not used? 30 to 40%, that's actually a lot of rooms, right? People either decide to join from their desk, or they are working from home, or they're traveling, or you just decided not to have the meeting. And this is a problem. So in the coming weeks, we are going to be launching a couple things to help you manage your room utilization. The first thing that will be launching is automatic room release, which automatically frees up your rooms if participants decline or if the meeting room is not used 10 minutes after start. We've been running this at Google for a little bit of time, and we actually have seen that we get 60,000 meeting hours released per month, right? That's about 300 rooms. And we actually see that 60% of these rooms actually get rebooked. So it's a very optimized way to make sure that your rooms are being used appropriately and that there's accountability for it. The other thing that we are providing is a Room Insights dashboard, where we can provide you with different insights about your rooms, what's popular, what's not, what's being used, what's not, and what are the common equipment that people are looking for in order to operate the room. And we really feel that these metrics are super important because it gives you a better understanding of how the rooms are being used, and it also allows you to predict some of the needs of the organization. And as you think about facilities expansion and things like that, this is kind of key metrics for you to actually make those future investment plans. Now, earlier I mentioned that we have 20,000 video-enabled meeting rooms at Google. That's a lot of hardware to keep secure and up to date. We really, with Meet Our Hardware, we really strive to build hardware that takes care of itself to help you scale your IT department and a lot of your maintenance needs. So our hardware and peripherals are always secure and up to date. Right? We automatically will provide over-the-air firmware updates so that you don't have to go into every room to administer the devices. The other thing is that our hardware is smart, and it will actually self-remediate. Right? So it's always checking for anomalies that it finds in the system, and if it actually finds some sort of error or inconsistency, it will automatically trigger a self-reboot before the next meeting so that you can minimize downtime for your meetings just down to the seconds, which is a great thing for many users. But we also recognize that sometimes you can't automatically fix yourself, and so we also want to provide you with a meeting room health dashboard. And what this will do is it will surface you and proactively alert you of issues that it sees in the room, whether there are peripherals that are disconnected or there's loss of connectivity, so that you can actually be proactive about taking care of issues to prevent meetings from being unproductive. And then finally, we are also providing you with rich meeting analytics. We want to make sure that you have all of the information to be able to analyze your meeting usage trends, participants, We want to make sure that you have the insights to be able to monitor your network connections as well as all the various endpoints, and to be able to troubleshoot technical issues for all of your individual meetings. And this data can be also exported to BigQuery and Data Studio so that you can do further analysis or integrate it with other information that you may have in your organization. So as you can see, we're really excited about bringing much more assistive and data-driven decisioning tools to administrators, because we want to make sure that you, like us, can be able to manage video conferencing at scale. So in summary, this is just really the beginning. We want to continue to bring innovation and intelligence to all of you to help you transform your workplace so that you can leverage, kind of this new culture of being video first. And we're enabling you to have simple access so that you can have pervasive video conferencing at scale. We want to make sure that collaboration continues to be smart by building in more intelligence and machine learning capabilities across our entire G Suite system for meetings. And we want to make sure that administration is scalable and bring in all the tools and analytics that you need to be able to operate your meeting solutions. Now, I know I went through the last section pretty fast, but tomorrow we actually will have a deep dive section, CP138, on how you can maximize ROI of your meeting rooms and your video conferencing systems, where you'll talk to the product managers as well as our Google IT groups and teams to actually learn a lot more about how we're doing this. So with that, I would now like to welcome Jordi from Resuelve and Dan from Salesforce, who are two of our G Suite customers, to talk a little bit more about their experience with Meet and video conferencing. Welcome. All right. So to get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your roles, and a little bit about your company and how distributed it is.
Hey everyone, I'm Dan from Salesforce, and I've been with Salesforce for about 6 years. I've been working a lot in the G Suite. Our team oversees essentially G Suite for Salesforce. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jordi. I'm from Resuelve, a Mexican company. We've been using G Suite for the last 2 years, and our mission is to help people pay their debts all over the world.
Okay, great.
All right.
So earlier I talked about this whole journey that Google took to get to become all in on video conferencing. Can you guys tell us or share with us what motivated you to adopt a meeting first culture within your organizations? How did you go about finding a solution, and what were some of the challenges that you had to overcome?
I think we decided back in maybe a little late to the game, 2013, 2014, that what we were doing with phone and voice only was just sort of not very engaging. Personally, I found myself just not very, present on meetings when I wasn't in a room with people. And so we sort of decided that video first was going to be very important for us. And I really loved the story of your nieces, where that was essentially me on a phone call where I'd say, okay, hi, go on mute, and just sort of walk away from a meeting.
When I joined the company 2 years ago, I found out that there was a big communication problem. Even though we already had offices in 2 countries, we couldn't communicate with each other. We had a mix of Skype and phone calls, but it didn't work out. So, as you can see, my natural language is not English, so I rely a lot on my hands and my expressions when I need to communicate. So video makes sense for this. So if I want to communicate with somebody that doesn't speak my language, even if it's Spanish, there are some different types of Spanish, you rely on your expressions, and there's no way you can do this over the phone.
And did you have to go through any change management process with your teams in order to get them to adopt video conferencing? I know sometimes people want to turn off their cameras and things like that, but how did you go about kind of introducing that to your organizations?
Obviously, that was kind of complicated at the beginning because people, especially engineers, they're really shy and they don't want to show on camera. So at the beginning, you have to actually not make them, but push them to open the camera and tell them, hey, if you open the camera, we are going to be able to communicate a lot better. one thing we did is every 2 weeks, the developer team, they showcase their work. And we used to do this in physical meetings, and the rooms were always packed at the office. So we started to do this by video meetings, just to train, because we knew that we had, if we were to expand it to the whole world, we needed to have video conferences. So this was one way to train people to have video meetings. So we have video meetings even if we're in the same table. This way people get used to it and they start training.
Yeah, I think that resonates with me as well. The challenge that we had to overcome was cultural. I mean, as engineers, we don't like showing our faces, but we're also really lazy. So if video is just kind of on and there, and it's more steps to turn it off, people might turn it on even by accident, give it a try, and see how engaging it is.
So what were some of the productivity benefits that you've seen within your organization with video meetings?
Oh, it's amazing. For example, before G Suite, we had, if you wanted to book a room, they were always full, always. And after G Suite, after we started doing video meets, they're always empty now. If you walk around the meeting rooms, you can always book one. That's something that happened without us expecting it with G Suite. One other thing that happened is meetings are way faster now. The showcase we did with the engineers used to last about 30 minutes, and now every showcase lasts from 5 to 7 minutes. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because if you have your headphones on, you have to be in the meeting. There's no way you can get distracted. So if you're paying attention, you're not going to ask something that has already been addressed at the meeting. That's my guess.
We haven't seen quite as big a migration away from rooms. Actually, quite the opposite. I think people love video so much that they're trying to get into rooms and see everyone on the big screen. I think for us, psychologically, it's what gets done in a meeting, what you can actually do, how you can contribute, rather than just feeling like you're not part of the conversation because you're not in a room. Now even the people in a room can directly look at the camera as people are talking, and people feel that they're being looked at and feel like they're being engaged and being more willing to offer up, their valuable opinion even though they're not in the room.
Yep. So Dan, you mentioned that rooms are something that people have been gravitating toward. How has Salesforce been thinking about video within the conference rooms? I know you have some of our Meet hardware. What has that experience been like to deploy, and how are you thinking about investing in that over time?
So from an administration and scalability perspective, to sort of focus on what works really well is the idea that we can distribute that model. We can put our hardware kits in the hands of anyone around the world and have them enroll units, deploy units, and get units up and off the ground relatively very quickly compared to our previous solutions, as well as the idea that, people just get in a room and use it. We have been talking a lot about what training looks like, what instruction looks like, and even in rooms that we haven't really deployed a lot of documentation or instruction or just a lot of guidance, people just get in a room, hit a button, join their call.
So, one of the things that I think we're hearing a lot about in the industry is about bringing more intelligence to meetings or administration, things like voice commands, facial recognition, et cetera. What is your perspective of the future of meetings, of intelligence kind of coming into play, and, what are things that you think can really shape productivity?
Something I would really like to see is this last couple of weeks that I've been meeting with a lot of Googlers. I do not know their names. Obviously, I just met them. And when you get to the video meet, you're hoping to see their name, and you see their room name. It's like, what am I going to do? I don't know his name or her name or whatever. So if you have some face recognition, it would be nice to see my name, Jordi, here, to see who I'm talking to. That would be nice.
So for us, it's been a lot about rooms and room occupancy even before you get into a meeting, just the ability to find open rooms, whether that's in calendar, just doing more to expose what rooms are available, or doing more to understand how to free up rooms for meetings that aren't being used, whether that's time-based release or facial detection or anything intelligent around knowing when meetings and rooms are not happening and that room can be freed up for the next people who need it.
Great. And what are your thoughts on some of these capabilities that we're bringing into administration, some of the insights? I know you've been vocal about making sure that we are continuing to invest in scaling those capabilities.
Vocal's the right word. I'm very happy to see progress in this space, and it's just great to see things like the Insights dashboard and room release and features just hitting release and getting going.